Which I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. Fucking, that's what they're all about. They're all about racism and shit. And fucking, it doesn't even matter if you're fucking
That's
black or
not
white.
what National Socialism was about. National Socialism had nothing to do with race. It was about bringing prosperity.
The NDSAP variant, which he's talking about, is now the actual sort of Nazi, what
Yeah.
German
I'm
Socialist
looking it up.
Workers'
I'm
Party.
looking it up.
See, now you can say whatever you want about it, okay? But that's really what it comes down to when it fucking brings
What
it
is?
out. It doesn't even matter what the color of your skin is. Fucking, you can have
Maybe I'm
national
wrong.
socialists who are fucking, a black national socialist group or fucking.
So you are now, because you've changed your stance quite a bit now,
India.
you're now saying that the National Socialism, it is now considered to be, in effect, a Nazi to protect your borders and protect your citizens. That's what
Well,
he's
here's the
stating.
thing. They turned the word, the whole reason the word Nazi was created is to demonize the National Socialists of Germany, right? But initially, the Nazi political party was anti-big business, anti-bourgeoisie, anti-capitalism, and using socialist rhetoric to support the lower middle class. Now, this is a biased article, mind you, but they did actually support the lower and middle classes and increase their standard of living after the war. So,
Yeah, but
in a way, Roger is right, but not for the reason that he thinks.
Well,
It's
you got to
actually a good.
understand. You got to understand the Nazi regime was subverted by Adolf Hitler. See, the Nazis existed before fucking Adolf came to power. Okay.
Well, yeah, he joined the party, right? Like,
So he subverted the meaning of the Nazi regime by fucking empower or bringing in his fucking philosophies. Okay. That's those same philosophies that freaking won him over in the public's eye and eventually led to World War II. Okay. But the Nazis,
no. That's typical American way of looking at it.
The Nazis were
the Americans and the British didn't like that they were gaining power, and that's why they attacked Germany.
No. Well, we gave
kicked out the banking cartels, and that's why the banking cartels turned on him.
We only
kicked out the Freemasons.
We only went to war after Germany entered Poland.
Yes, they fucking did a blitzkrieg. Remember that, where they fucking took over all those countries by just
but why did they do that?
They did that because the Weimar Republic was being oppressed by France because of freaking war reparations, and that caused a lot of depression. It wasn't really good that freaking the world had gone through the freaking Great Depression either. That kind of hurt everybody. But Germany especially was in trouble.
But they put massive fines on Germany after World War One, right?
And France kept suppressing. France would go into Germany and force them to freaking work and everything in order to pay off their reparations. And that caused a lot of anger between France and Germany. So what happened was freaking Hitler freaking came to power. He started preaching rhetoric, which everybody during that time freaking basically caught on to, and they freaking, was like, yeah, man, this guy is freaking talking some sense. He's going to fucking bring us out of this. And to a large extent, he did. Okay. But he didn't just want to do that. He had another agenda. Okay. And that's what led to freaking him want.
But also, just on the wider point, France and Germany will become Germany, because remember, Germany as a single nation didn't become as such until 1871, 75.
Yeah. And then they
something
lost
like that. Anyway. Bismarck.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking of?
It sounds a lot like the whole Ukraine thing to me, because Germany.
But Germany and France had a long history dating back 100 years, dating back to the Napoleonic Wars. I mean, look at what Napoleon did to Prussia.
Yeah, but look at what the Polish did to the Germans after World War. Oh no, this is World War II. Did they bloody?
Remember, Poland was a part of the US, the Soviet Union.
Let's find out.
Actually, Poland. No, it had a neutral stance, didn't it? Actually, technically.
Yes, there is historical evidence of tensions and incidents involving German minority in Poland before World War II. After World War I, the Treaty of Versailles redrew the borders of Europe, leading to significant changes in the population distribution, particularly in the regions of Silesia and Pomerania, where ethnic Germans lived. So they redrew the borders where that was Germany. After World War I.
The destruction of the Hungaro-Austrian Empire.
Yeah, and that was a big issue too. Like they wanted to reunify Germany and Hungary, and that was a real big issue. A lot of countries said no, we don't want that, and Germany insisted. Even Hungary didn't want to reunify with Germany. It was that bad.
Well, that's why I say it sounds a lot like the Ukraine thing, where there's Russians living in Ukraine.
Yeah,
and
there was some similarities there. I agree.
And it's very dangerous. You know, this kind of shit should not fucking be fueling the fires, because I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not a Ukraine fan. I'm not a Russian fan. Okay, but I'm going to tell you right now, fucking, we are in a time period where you keep letting these fucking idiots do this shit, and we're going to be, it's going to go into a bad place. That's all I'm saying. Don't expect this.
Here's the thing though, Roger, is the solution so far has been send them more bombs and maybe they'll fight their way out of it, which is the most ridiculous policy ever of a smaller country going up against Russia. Like, what's happened is, like, most of the males in the country have now been slaughtered for no reason, when they could have just, like, told Russia, okay, we'll stop persecuting your people, we'll accept some, agreements and whatever, and it would have been over in 2 weeks. Yeah,
I disagree with that, because you're looking at it from a very narrow point of view. You've got to consider, I've made this argument plenty of times, you've got to consider that Ukraine has always been considered the breadbasket of Europe. It's sitting on
saying Russia can't. Russia's not big enough to support its people.
And also, where Ukraine is situated, look at its borders.
That's why the CIA went in there and wanted to subvert the country. The West needs Ukraine more than bloody Russia does. Russia has the most resources of any country on the planet. They don't need Ukraine. Putin has said that many times.
Strategically, he's saying
Crimea. That's why they took Crimea as for strategy. They don't need to be in Ukraine.
Poland. Okay, you need to understand something. Poland is freaking another area, and Ukraine sits in between freaking Poland and Russia. Now, they got Crimea and everything, but freaking if you want to have power in that region, you have to control freaking Poland. And that's the reason why the Nazis took Poland first, was because they.
And also, you've got to remind yourself, because of the what's the country above north of Ukraine? Who's always been a sort of who's the only communist country left in Europe?
Uzbekistan?
No.
I can check it out real quick on the map for you.
So the way I see it is the Illuminati assassinated Archduke Franz Ferdinand, and then the West sort of encroached on Germany, and then they forced them to sign this treaty that basically bankrupted them. So like they couldn't let that go on, otherwise they would become a third world country. So like it makes sense. Like they kind of pushed him into a corner. You know what I mean? Like rather than letting Germany prosper, they just tried to like keep it down. So like you can't like expect an intelligent people to want to like keep that going. Of course, the people sided with the person that's like, hey, let's get out of this shitty situation. Any country would do that. The US would do that. So
you've got to remember that between the Ukraine and Belarus, either side, you've got an ocean. You've got the North Atlantic, and then you've got the Black Sea. For Russia at this present moment to go from the North to South Atlantic, you've got to go all the way around Asia, Russia, or in the other way, Europe and Africa. So by invading Ukraine, you are making a nice, easy way of a nice shipping lane between North Atlantic and the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Without needing to go all the way around.
Now Russia can go in through freaking St. Petersburg if they have to, but they have to go into Denmark and
violating national
waters. When did World War I start? 1919, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to understand they're in a war now, and freaking
but listen to this.
Not too many people are happy with them.
There was a blockade of Germany because Germany was dependent on imports of food and raw materials coming in through the Atlantic Ocean, and then they had a naval operation that blockaded it by the Allied powers, stopping raw materials and foodstuffs coming in, and as a consequence of that, by December 1918. 763,000 German civilians had died during the Allied blockade. So, don't you think that would piss fucking Germany off?
Well, see, that's
almost a million people.
It set up an environment, an environment that was just perfect for a freaking psychopath like Hitler to fucking walk into and just take control.
But this is before Hitler. This is before World War One.
This is all building up.
This is all Illuminati fucking central bankers that
when you look at
they wanted to bring the power of Germany down before the war started.
No,
this is
when you look at World War II, what you really have to look at it as is a precursor, World War I was a precursor to World War II. World War II is the final result of what was produced because of World War I. There was so much animosity going on between, especially England and Germany, that freaking.
But what caused the animosity from England to Germany before World War I? Because what did Germany do then? Because from what I can see, is they starved almost 1 million Germans before the war. So, what other solution do you have other than war after that? You know what I mean?
This all goes back to freaking National Socialism. Okay, not all of these people were freaking buddies with one another. It's just like with socialism in general.
Actually, it comes back to communism, because what happened in Russia was the communist Jews took over Russia, and then when Russia kicked them out,
communism is the international, third international.